I'm Dan Meuser, and I approve this message. I'm sitting here with Corey McCabe. We are in Pottsville, the center of the 9th Congressional District. My name is Dan Meuser, candidate for Congress for the 9th Congressional, and we are here having a conversation on a very important issue. Corey is the executive director of an organization called Alive2Day. Alive2Day's role and goal is to raise the awareness of drug use, drug overdose, and do everything we can to solve the problem. I met Corey a few months ago, and he has been very much of an information provider to me on the importance of this issue to our area. So, Corey, it's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you taking the time out to discuss this very important issue that's plaguing the community.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you know, opioids are a prescribed drug. Doctors prescribe them. They're provided by big pharmaceutical companies, of course. And they do a lot of good when properly prescribed. Right? There's many people out there with pain that have needed opioids. There's a problem. Last year, there were 450 million opioids prescribed in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We have 13.7 million people. Folks, that's 37 pills a person. So one of the first problems we have is the oversupply. There have been moves made legislatively, locally. Many hospitals have engaged in dealing with this and informing their physicians to minimize and scrutinize more closely such prescriptions. Corey, where are we in that supply side of this problem?
The oversupply of prescription medication has become a problem. However, it's not the only problem, because what happens is it escalated this drug epidemic that was already existing. And we're just a day late at this point, because we've created a culture where people have become addicted based on false information, mainly from pharmaceutical companies. So the federal guidelines have increased on distribution. However, we're dealing with the residual effects of that epidemic right now. So we're moving in the right direction. Overall, prescriptions are decreasing. However, overdose deaths are increasing. So that is a problem, but we need to become reactive at this point and attack it from all angles.
Corey's organization, Alive2Day, has a number of functions and a number of goals. One of them is to educate. I attended a local high school with Corey, where he gave a very intense and compelling speech to the high school and the intermediate school, so grades from 7 to 12, about the dangers associated with opioids or anything related to it, and how they are laced, and how in fact they can be addictive, but worse yet, in the short term, how they can in fact lead to death because of fentanyl.
Well, yeah, we were raising awareness, and anytime you raise awareness, you continue to talk about the problem, and that's okay, but we need to become more solution-oriented and start implementing programs that are smart and effective immediately, and that's how you're going to impact the most change.
Well, let's talk about the importance of warm handoffs.
What a warm handoff is once someone has overdosed and obviously survives the overdose, a warm handoff is when we're immediately engaging people in treatment, whether it be in the hospital or the police station or even actually at their residence. And they've been found to be very, very effective. Once people overdose, they're incredibly vulnerable, and that's the time that they're most open to receiving treatment. And that is very, very, very important. And that's something that could be implemented right away. There's funding available for it, and that needs to be done.
Police departments and hospitals now are understanding you just don't release someone after an overdose. And what's also very important here is the use of and the availability of Narcan. Narcan saves lives.
Public access to Narcan is very, very important because it's expensive, and if you don't have insurance, you have to pay out of pocket. The good thing about it is, though, there's a standing order in Pennsylvania, so anybody can go to any local pharmacy and obtain Narcan. The problem is it's very expensive, so we need to lower the cost of Narcan and provide it to people that can't afford it, at free of charge. And we were able to do that, and we've seen some success when we put Narcan in the hands of people.
Now, why don't you talk a little bit about how difficult it can be very often to receive a bed within an appropriate period of time. Sometimes people are told you got to wait 4 days. 4 days can be a lifetime.
There's so many people that are affected from a substance use disorder that there's literally not enough beds available to the point the program has overgrown. However, it comes down to insurance as well. Commercial insurance versus medical assistance, there's a wide gap, and we need to level the playing field, and everybody needs to have the same access to treatment regardless of their financial situation. It's a medical condition. Addiction has been identified as a disease for over 70 years, so we need to start treating it as such. Recently,
a Senate bill was passed, 99-1.
The latest bill is called H.R. 6, which is the largest bill that's been passed in the history of America as it relates to the drug epidemic. It's very comprehensive. It attacks from all different angles, from MAT to education, prevention, expanding peer-to-peer services. So it's a very good bill. It was well funded, and we're looking forward to implementing it very soon.
Yes, and it covers a fair amount of the solution, but the solution comes down to community involvement, removing the stigma, understanding that a problem's been created through there's probably a lot of blame to go around where it came from, and there is, but there are those that are responding to it and trying to correct the problem as well as save lives.
And one thing we really need to start focusing on is we need to start developing models to sustain long-term recovery. And what I mean by that is we want to put people through the continuum of care, which is inpatient, halfway house, recovery house, and then once they're released back into community, supporting them as far as jobs are concerned, housing is concerned. Because research shows if we can get people to 5 years of long-term recovery, it's an 85% success rate. So we need to start designing models that support that.
So if people want to help, if they want to learn more, they can certainly go to MeuserForCongress.com. We did set up a resource center for this information that we're expressing, and where people can, in fact, find recovery throughout the counties that make up the 9th Congressional. To participate with Alive2Day.
Alive2Day.com, or you can find us on Facebook. Primarily, Alive2Day.com is the best way to contact us. We have several resources available under our resource page. If you or a loved one are looking for treatment, that's primarily what we do. We help navigate through the system. It could be quite monotonous at times, but we're here to assist you in any way we can.
Well, we certainly appreciate your attention to this serious problem. We hope for your support. We look forward to just improving the quality of life of our communities and neighborhoods together. Anything else, Corey?
No, that's it. Pretty much covered it. Thank you for your time.
All right, bud.